Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today is going to be Gren Maju. Now this deck is like straight up a very powerful deck. It always has a place in the format, like no matter what happens, like it always has some place in the format. It's the best OTK deck ever created, and it's just really good. The only issue that you will almost ever come across is some consistency issues with the fact that you always need to hard draw into Gren Maju in order for your plays to go off. But I just really think that this deck is super solid. It is actually pretty consistent, all things considered, and yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting things off, I play 3 copies of Gren Maju de Aiza. So this card gains 400 attack for each banished card. And this is how the deck is formatted around. So really, you just play a whole crap ton of cards just to banish a bunch of cards from your deck and extra deck. And it's actually a really cool play style. You can activate Pot of Desires and gain advantage off of that, which is so crazy. But you need to play 3 copies of Gren Maju. I played 3 copies of Eater of Millions. Now, sometimes this clashes with Pot of Extravagance, but really, I think they work together. So basically, special summon it by banishing 5 or more cards from your hand, field, or extra deck face down, which is pretty good. Just getting rid of some cards from your extra deck to set up more plays for Gren Maju. Also, this uses a special summon and not a normal summon. So you could technically summon Gren Maju in the same turn. So this card's actually pretty good. You could cut it, but I actually really liked it. I played 3 copies of Dimension Shifter. This card is actually really busted. If you have no cards in the graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard until the end of the turn. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Now, for some reason, everybody says that, oh, if your opponent activates Pot of Desires, you gain advantage, but I don't think anybody actually reads the card. It says equal to number of your banished cards times 400. So Dimension Shifter doesn't really gain you any advantage, but the fact is that you're not really going to have a ton of cards in the graveyard to begin with. So this actually does help you a lot. So, even if you lose one of your monsters during your opponent's turn, which is highly unlikely considering that this is a going second deck, you're really not going to lose a ton of advantage off of it. I play 3 copies of Gizmek Orochi. This card is busted in this deck. So basically, it's a free special summon, a quick effect special summon at that. Plus, it's got some nice destruction, where you could just banish 3 from your extra deck to target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. It's pretty solid. This card wins you games. Even more than Gren Maju, this card is actually super solid. If you start out any turn, you want to start out with, a Gizmek Orochi, a Pot of Desires, and a Gren Maju. That way you could use Gizmek, special summon it, banish 8, use its effect to banish 3 more to pop a card, then use Pot of Desires. Let's say your opponent Ash Blossoms it. Doesn't matter, you normal summon Gren Maju, has over 8,000 attack, and you just swing at your opponent for game. So, yeah, nice little combo there. I play 3 copies of Gilfey, the Phantom Bird. This card gets a free search for your Golden Castle. Some people will only play this at 1, which is weird considering the fact that it searches your Golden Castle, and then your Golden Castle special summons a Hextrude, which, I mean, it's pretty solid. I wouldn't play this at any less than 3. I play 1 copy of Hextrude, speaking of which. If Golden Castle's on the field, you can normal summon it without tributing. Doesn't really matter. Once per turn, if Golden Castle is on the field, target 1 card, except this card, destroy it. And if you do, this card can make 2 attacks. Then when this card battles or destroys a monster by battle, you can target 1 face-up monster you control. It gains 400 attack. So that's pretty solid. It can boost your Gren Maju, or it can boost itself to 4,000 or 3,000, which is actually a pretty solid game plan. And it's special summoned for free off of Golden Castle of Stromberg. And this card's just pretty good. Like, it's your best target to summon off of it. I played 3 copies of Danger Bigfoot and 2 copies of Thunderbird. I was thinking about bumping Thunderbird up to 3, but I decided not to. So basically, the reason you play the Danger Engine is because, one, these two are like some of the highest attack, and they get some big bodies on the field, and also their draw effect is what really matters, because like, even though you have so many draw spells in the deck that actually aid you, like, the fact is that the more you can draw in this deck, the better, because if you end up like not being able to get into your Gren Maju, you might end up just losing the game flat out. Like, it's really important that you draw and have a lot of consistency in the deck. So like, you definitely want to run the Danger Engine like this. I played 3 copies of Ash, generic hand trap, 2 copies of Crow because Crow works really well in this format. I played 3 copies of Pot of Desires and 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. Again, you could think about cutting Extrav because you run Eater of Millions, but like, seriously, Extrav just gains you so much free advantage that it's way better than Eater. Like, if you're going for a more budget alternative, Eater is definitely good, and it can take the place of Extrav, and they do kind of clash if you run them in the same deck, but I think they work so well that it just doesn't matter. Plus, if you had like a hard choice between Extrav or Eater of Millions, you're gonna go Extrav. I played 2 copies of Golden Castle. This card is really solid. It gets a free special summon from the deck. Then during the standby phase, you get to banish 10 cards from the top of your deck, which is so good for this deck. It gives your Gren Maju another 4,000 attack. Then, since people never read this card, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy the attacking monster, and if you do, inflict damage equal to half its attack. That is really good. Like, it's a really strong card. It gives you protection for all your a lot of your monsters. Like, it doesn't even have to be your the ones that say Golden Castle in their text. It literally can be any monster, and it just sets some busted protection for them. Once you activate this, they're gonna know you're playing Gren Maju, but that doesn't really matter because they can't really do a ton. I played 1 copy of Dimensional Fissure and 1 copy of Macrocosmos. So the thing about these is that it actually helps you. If you use these in conjunction with a Dimension Shifter, that means you won't get any cards in the graveyard, as well as the fact that you can continue to abuse Dimension Shifter. And a lot of decks this format can't get around Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure. Like, I really wish there were more, we had more copies of this, because this would be busted in this deck. Like, I would cut out the hand traps just to put more copies of Macrocosmos in here, but like, really, these 2 cards are like some of the best cards in the deck. And then I play the Red Eyes package because, like, really, you just want to get a bunch of big bodies on the field with this deck. Plus, the fact is that you can get 2 monsters out on the field pretty easily. Like, if you just end your turn with a Dragoon on the field and a Verte Anaconda, you're pretty set. Like, not gonna lie, you're not gonna really need to do much. You're gonna stall out until you can draw into your Gren Maju, and then that's like a pretty easy game state to pull off. So that is it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck, it's a pretty generic extra deck, and I think it's pretty good. 1 copy of Boral Sword for OTKs, 1 copy of Topologic Trisbana. So this is your backup option. If you don't draw into Gren Maju, or like let's say you don't draw into Gren Maju and you have 4 monsters on the field, which is pretty easy to pull off for this deck, you just link off into Topologic Zeroboros. It doesn't gain as much attack as the Gren Maju, but it still gains a ton. Like, you cannot special summon cannot special summon monsters to any extra monsters zone this card points to. Then it gains 200 attack for each banished card. Then if another monster is special summoned to the zone, you basically get to nuke the field. Then once per turn during the standby phase of the turn that this card was banished by its own effect, special summon it. So like, this is really good. Like, this card is OP AF. Like, seriously, you get a full board wipe. Like, your opponent can't really do anything about it because it's not even destruction, not targeting. It's so busted. And if you play your cards right, you'll lock them out of 2 of their zones, lest they risk nuking the board. And you basically get this card back for free. I play 1 copy access code for also OTKs, Topologic Trisbana. This card has a very similar effect where you just banish spell and trap cards as well. Plus, it has some bird damage, which is kind of nice. Plus, this just gets more banished cards, and the more banished cards you can get, the better. Play 1 copy in each of the nightmares for some generic removal, 1 IP Masquerena for some generic disruption, 1 copy of Linkaribo because we play Eater of Millions, because Eater of Millions says it cannot be used as fusion, synchro, or Xyz, but it can be used as link material. Play 1 copy of Verte Anaconda because the Red Eyes package, on top of the fact that, like, if you get rid of your Red Eyes package in the deck, you're not really going to lose a ton. Because, like, you could easily go into Verte Anaconda in this deck, but if you really, really wanted to, you could banish half of this and not really care. I play 1 copy of Dingirsi, 1 copy of Hope Harbinger, and 1 copy of Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopus for your Gizmek Orochi. Like, and because you play enough level 8 monsters that you can run a rank 8 package in the deck. I was thinking about putting in trade-in, but I just didn't run enough. Like, you don't really need a ton of level 8s in this deck, but like, just having the option to go into it, and I play Lancelot, this card's meh, but like, they have some pretty good options, and of course the 1 Dragoon. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, let me know if there's anything you would change about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.